I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healy. Welcome back, folks.
Hey, we are now about to go to finish the first half of the top 100.
The best half. No, that's the other half. The worst half of our top 100
This is
games.
the best of the worst half.
That's what I always call anything I do. This is the best of the worst.
Okay.
Don't you prejudge me.
Sure.
I got 2 new games this time in this 10, and the People's Choice has 2 new games.
And I have quite a few new games. Actually.
10.
Well, again, that I listed as new either because they used to be on the list and fell off of or because they've never been on here before. I have 5 new games.
I have also 5 new games, maybe 6. You'll understand the 6th one, the possible 6th one when I get to it.
I'm sorry, did you say 5 or 6? Woo!
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
This is new content.
In this segment, yes.
Wow.
And it's not the heaviest segment for new games.
You have a lot of little games, huh?
This is called the Emperor S4.
No, I'm talking about like there's another segment that has like 8 new games in it.
Oh. All right.
Let's get
there you
started. My number 60 is new to the list, although it was in the 121 last year, so it's moved up.
Okay.
And it's because it now has a bigger board. That's actually not true. I like the game either way. That's Bunny Kingdoms. Bunny Kingdoms has...
Now it's a bigger board. I don't get it.
Yeah, I have a bigger board now, so it's not as constricted.
You serious?
They
Oh, you didn't know
spread it
that?
No.
Yeah, first of all, the new board is in every copy of the game that's out now, but you could also...
out.
It was like $1 or something. It was really cheap, like $1, $2, and they would send you the bigger board.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, so the stuff is not as congested now.
Bunny Kingdom is now on his top 100.
No, Bunny Kingdom was one of the things I very much disliked and talked about, and everybody was like, what are you talking about? It's too small and busy looking.
Yeah.
And they went and fixed it.
They
Nobody
did.
told me this.
I just find it interesting you did not know about this till
How did
now. Oh my goodness.
Well, I wrote that game off. I just didn't like the way it looked.
I really like the game. I love drafting, and this is like drafting too. It has a grid too. Those are like 2 things I really like put together.
Yeah.
But I think I like it because it's one of those games where I would get the handful of cards and say, I want about 8 of these. I don't want to pass
You
any
keep
of them on.
Who's going to tell you no?
I'm going to exercise my right
Shoot.
to keep 8 of these cards. Sorry, that's just how this one works. But there's so many different endgame scoring cards. There's all the grid cards. It just really works well. I like how the game looks. I get that it was too busy, but again, the bigger board really helped out with that. So, and if you bought the game in the last like 6 months,
Oh, man, I'm out of the loop.
you don't have to worry about anything anyway. So, Bunny Kingdom, my number is 60.
My number 60 is...
You had to know about
Did
that.
not know about that.
Yeah. My number 60 is new to the list, which surprised me when I found out that it was new to the list. I thought I had included this on last year's top 100, and apparently I didn't. Maybe I just missed it or something to that effect. But this is one that we affectionately call the poop game. Pecunia non ole.
No way.
Yes.
This is in your top
Yes.
60?
On theme alone. Theme
Whoa.
alone.
On theme alone, I got like 6 other games back there.
No, I'm just saying, theme alone.
You
This
could do
one,
a top 10 poop games at this point, I think.
On theme alone is never a sentence you should have uttered when speaking about a game which deals primarily with defecation.
But you're providing the facilities for people to relieve themselves. You are
That's
providing
true. If
a
that wasn't
service
there-
to humanity.
That's what makes it.
How would
it's
Rome be-
the economics of going
Yes.
to the bathroom. Got
It's
it.
not just poop, but I
It's-
love the fact that
It's not just poop, kids. It's
there-
Wall Street.
There,
Where was I? We were just somewhere where someone went to the bathroom. They walked out. They're like, I gotta pay. I'm out. Was that one of us who was there? I was with somebody. We went somewhere. They walked in like, money? Nope. Walked right out.
That's awesome. I do love the fact that there are actual poop components in this, and it looks like what would be wood components from any other game. And I love that.
Sam's not selling this one to some
It is
people.
it is an amazing game. It is very fun. It is, of course, I guess, I'm making it out to be more poop-centric than it really is. It is an economic game.
Poop-centric.
Where you are trying to...
Add that to the lexicon.
Exactly. Where you're trying to provide places for people to relieve themselves. They're going to pay you money to do that. Whoever has the most money at the end of the game is the winner. So it's not really about poop. It's all about providing that service for the citizenry of Rome. So that's my number 60, Pecunia non Old.
Now, there's a lot of expansions for this, right? Do you like it better with all that stuff?
Yeah, probably.
Seriously, there's expansions for
Little
this?
mini expansions and stuff like that, yeah.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Stop.
Yeah, he's gonna,
I don't want to make the
it's
joke.
right there.
I don't want to make it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'm going to keep going.
Try to top that. All right, what's your number 60?
Well, there's no feces in it. 60 was 95 last time, moved up a little bit. This is
That's a lot.
Dead Men Tell No Tales. This is a cooperative pirate fighting, ship building, burning, ship burning game in which you are going into the ship, you're revealing it as you go. So it's got some exploration with the tile reveals and everything like that. You are fighting, so there's combat. You are finding loot and carrying it outside. So there is a little bit of pick up and deliver because the rules do change while you are carrying treasure. It's a lot more hostile, the environment towards you.
Technically, my 60 is also a pick up and deliver.
That's disgusting.
It's a cube pusher.
Oh, okay. All right.
Cube pincher.
Dead men, guys, tell no tales. Anyway, my number 60, I really enjoy it. It's I think there's an expansion coming out for this, actually. I think I kickstarted like a year ago or something like that, and it's finally, it should be showing up soonish. I don't know. I'm excited for that. So, Dead Men Tell No Tales, co-op pirate game, my 60.
All right, well, for the People's Choice, we're back to poop. Terra Mystica.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a...
I jest. I know a lot of people like it. However...
It's pronounced digest. Digest.
Yes.
Digest.
I digest.
I digest. This is the 6th year it's been on the list. It came on at 54, went as high as 24. Last year was 31.
And then people played it again.
No, Gaia Project came out. I'm telling you, the vote's gonna be split.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't think they appeal to the same...
No, what are you talking about? They're like the same game.
Yeah, but one's in space, and the other one has a boring theme. So people
I agree.
like the... Actually, I probably don't like either one.
Anyway, I imagine this one will still be around. This is a game some people... Still sometimes in our game group, I see this one being played a lot, you know.
Yeah, this game has staying power, yeah.
So, number 60, Terra Mystica. For some reason, my 59 has moved up. It was 78 last year.
Because you like it more, is usually what that means.
Well, yeah, right. But again, I don't look at my last year's list when I put these together because I don't want to be like...
Yeah, influenced by that,
Influenced by it. But this one's Domain. And I've definitely played it over the
What?
past year. I know. This game's still
This game's
really...
old, Tom.
Yeah, I know.
Old games are gross.
Cult of the New!
I'm cult of the future, baby.
Domain is a game that I wouldn't be surprised if we see it redone and re-released at some
The
point.
game's been out of print. Maybe it hasn't been out of print. I don't know, but...
It already is a reprint. The original game was Lowenhertz.
Sure, but...
And then they made a nicer version, Domain, but they made that version back in 2001, maybe? It's pretty old, actually.
It's due for some reworking.
It's from Klaus Teuper, who did Settlers of Catan, and this is a game in which you are building walls and building little kingdoms and trying to stop other people's kingdoms from growing. It's very mean, but the basic concept of play a card, but pay money to play that card, or discard a card and get the money on the card, therefore giving someone else a chance to pick that card up. And I really like it. I think it works really well. It's very much in your face. Some people like the original one better. It was even meaner, but I think Domain is that perfect thing. And Domain, the copy I have right now, if I put it on the table, looks like a 2018 production, which is especially rare considering it came from Mayfair.
Yeah.
But that's because Cosmos did it, not Mayfair.
Yeah.
But yeah, Domain, my number 59.
My number 59
Give us some more poop.
Is another new addition to the list. Well, you guys probably will think this is poop, but it actually completely replaced its predecessor, in my opinion. And it kicked the Manhattan Project off the list, and 2 Minutes to Midnight replaced it completely at number 59. So while it's not... technically a brand new game.
No, it's a brand new game.
I know it is a brand new game, but
That is a new game. It's a different thing.
Yeah, it's a different beast. But anyway, I like 2 Minutes to Midnight better because I think there's the player interaction that I wanted to have in Manhattan Project is now here in 2 Minutes to Midnight. And that's why it replaced Manhattan Project for me, because it gives me the same feel that Manhattan Project gave me with the added bonus of having the player interaction that I wanted in Manhattan Project. So that's why it's on my list. Number 59, the Manhattan Project, 2 Minutes to Midnight.
This is a big surprise for me, actually. I knew you liked it better than we did, which wasn't hard because I didn't like it. Wow, 59?
Manhattan Project has always been on my list.
And it knocked off the first one?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it better.
See, when I first played the Manhattan Project Minutes to Midnight, the word poop went through my... No, it didn't. But I remember thinking,
new
wow,
word of the day, folks.
Sam is really going to dislike this one. I really thought you would, because you don't necessarily like that. You work it and someone comes over and goes, that's essentially what happens in this game.
Yeah, but it's not... Sometimes the reason I don't like that is because sometimes you can't do anything about that. In this game, you can definitely do something about it, and you can go after them.
I hate the scoring in this one, too. It's like... I don't know. All right, well...
Told you.
Sam's wrong.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't think you're wrong, Sam. It's a bad game, though. All right, 59 for me was 25 last time, so again, it dropped a bit, and this is Karuba. Karuba.
Jamaica.
Ooh, I wanna play ya. Laying tiles, making connections to buildings. Ooh,
He actually
I
has all
wanna
this written
play.
down.
That'd be awesome.
Are you gonna get on with it?
Karuba is, I think, a Rudiger Dorn game in which you are... Everybody's working on their own board. You reveal a tile from your own group of tiles. You say, okay, I flipped over the 24 tile. Everybody find your own 24. Play it anywhere you want into your grid. And all you're doing is connecting explorers to their buildings. You got to try to get that explorer connected up first, get more points that way. And also there's other treasures and things along the paths. It's a game that is extremely easy to teach. It works with just about anybody I've found, and it really works well, which was what originally very much impressed me, with a mixed group of ages also. I played this in the same group with someone that was like 65 and someone who was 8 years old. And it just worked because everybody's doing their own thing. Not everyone's going to do as well, of course, but it really flows very easily. I really enjoy it.
It's like playing bingo.
Well, bingo's in the top 10.
With choices, yeah. I mean, it's like playing bingo, but the 8 doesn't always go where the 8 is in your board.
Right.
But yeah,
you
sure,
got
that's
one
not-
person calling it out, and you got to find your tile and place it.
It's like a whole style of game. I don't know what I would call that. I guess maybe bingo
Multiplayer
games.
solitaire to the max.
No. The
definitely, yeah.
thing where you call something out and everyone does the same thing. There's like a whole group of those
bingo-esque,
games.
yeah. Some of them, though, when you call the thing out, I mean, they're the good ones. Give you then from that choice that was just called out, give you a nice amount of possibilities. I think this one does do that. So.
You know what this game is, essentially? It's a roll and write.
Yeah, it's a roll and write, basically.
With tiles, right? But I
Yeah.
mean, you could give a pad of paper and just have people draw it on. It would be the exact same game.
Yes, it is. So there you go. If you want to check out the latest roll and write,
Somebody's going to make that game now.
Karuba.
You know what? I'll go even farther and say
Karuba
it's going to
the
happen.
roll
We're
and
going to see Karuba dice. We already seen the Karuba the card game.
Yeah.
We're going to see Karuba dice, and it's going to be a roll.
Karuba
and
Dice
write.
is very much like Avenue, though, like Kokoro, like Avenue. They're very similar games.
Wait, Karuba dice already exists?
No, I'm saying a Karuba Dice type game would be very much like Avenue or like Kokoro, you know. Anyway, that is my 59 Karuba.
All right, before Z sings again, let's jump to the People's Choice
Jamaica.
59.
Ooh,
Do you want another list?
no.
Number 59 has been on the People's Choice forever.
Forever.
Well, since we started
Go.
this, and that's Dixit.
Oh,
Go.
he said forever. Go was invented before time.
There were some people playing Go in our game group last night.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you go and hover over them and just be like, every time someone took a move, you went like, go.
Oh my
To the other
goodness.
guy, you go.
No, I'd be like, oh, ooh, ah.
Just walk by and laugh, even though you don't know.
Still didn't even know what was going on.
Oh, guys, and keep on going.
No. Anyhow, Dixit is what we're talking about, not Go. Dixit, again, a party game I think that works really well. It was 49 last year in People's Choice. So it's kind of, has some pretty good staying power. I think as long as it stays in print, it will be in the top 100. As soon as it fades out.
With expansions.
Yeah. This is, when does Dixit cross into that apples to apples territory where...
3 expansions ago.
You open the box.
3 expansions ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care, though. It's okay. It's the same game still. I don't think they've modified anything.
Yeah, but these expansions, you can't play the game with them by itself. You need some of the other pieces. Well, you need the 1 through 6 tiles.
Okay, you're right, yeah.
Anyway, 59 Dixit for you. All right, my number 58 has been on the list since the very beginning, although I need to change the name of it here. It's no longer called Beyond Balderdash, it's just Balderdash, because Balderdash now has that in it. In fact, this is one of my go-to games. Like, my brother recently was wanting, he's like, oh, do you remember that game we played as a kid? I was like, oh, Balderdash, boom, order Amazon, bought it for him. Because it was like $20, right? And I said, oh, it's even better than Balderdash. You thought Balderdash was great. The new version's better, and it is. I was a little worried about the new thing, the laws, when this came, but they're great.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a hilarious game. It fits in that party game where if I win, I guess I'll be happy, but I don't care. I added it to the games I sent with Melody to college because it's that funny. It works in all these situations. So Balderdash, it was 34 for me last year, so it dropped a bit. But party games, again, since I don't compare anything, I'm always not really sure where the party games fit in on this list. I'm like, yeah, I think I like it a little better than Domain and not as much as the next one. But
the next one is a curse word?
Apparently.
We'll see. It's
boy.
coming.
All right, my number 58 was 60 last year, so not...
You are consistent.
Not hardly any moving at all right there. This is called Discoveries, the Journals of Lewis and Clark.
Ooh.
This initially...
This is the dice one, right?
Yes.
Not as good as the big one, though.
Are you sure? Wait, which one do you think's better?
Lewis and Clark.
Ugh.
You're right.
Ugh.
He's wrong.
What was
Ugh. That was just nasty, man.
What was nasty? I'm not the one putting
your
poop
Lewis
games
Clark.
on my list.
Technically,
Excuse me. While
your entire list is riddled with...
Caca list? Hi.
That's what Z said before we started the video, anyway.
Yeah, really. All right, so Discoveries is I guess you can call it the dice version of Lewis and Clark, which is a long, convoluted, unnecessarily long game, and so
I would argue that they're not even that close in how they feel.
Discoveries
They're the same thing.
gives you no, they aren't. It gives you the same vibe in a third of the time, easily. And plus, it has tremendous artwork from Vincent Dutrait. The dice are wooden dice, but they are very, very nice.
But one of the things I really like about the game, and it didn't make my top 100, but I like it, is that you can use dice from other people, but they can claim them back at any point. I think that's a neat concept.
Yeah, it is.
No
It's
other
really
game
cool.
has done that.
Whenever you use dice, it goes into a pool in the middle, and then they can claim when you take somebody else's dice. That's what you were getting at. They can be taken from you at any point if they call their dice back. So
yeah, I like that. That's a cool concept.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of interaction without being too mean, because if you take your die back from me, well, probably shouldn't have been using it in the first place. Type situation.
Yeah.
So that's Discoveries, my number 58, the Journals of Lewis and Clark.
Alrighty. My 58 is apparently new to the list, though I thought I had this on here before, but I guess not. This is Istanbul, one of those Euro games that seems to continue to climb just in the general appreciation of it. It's one of those...
Sure, we just mentioned it a few times ago that it was moving up on the People's Choice.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's one that the more I play, the more it cements itself as a really incredible design. It's interactive. The turns are quick, but there's a lot going on. There's multiple sort of paths to victory. I like that there's no end game scoring in this game either. When you achieve the goal, you win. Boom, game's over. So it's a race-style game. And the expansions, I've only played the one. I forget which of the two. I did a review of it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic expansion. So I really like Istanbul. If I feel like playing a Euro game with not a lot of downtime, math, that sort of stuff. Just one that feels kind of speedy while still giving you a meaty experience. Istanbul's a solid pick. So there you go. That's my 58.
Got nothing bad to say. All right. People's choice was 89 last year, moved up to 58, and that is King Domino. So this is
Wow.
I mean, it's a Spiel des Jahres, right? So it won that, got a big wide thing. The expansion, although I don't think the expansion is causing it to move up. I think it would have been up without the expansion.
Yeah.
I think King Domino is just one of those games people are thrilled to say, hey, I can teach this to grandma, teach it to anybody, and they'll play it. I think. It's a really simple game. I don't really like it that much, but I understand. It's one of those games where I'm like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but that's just me. It's not the game. I think the game, a lot of people are going to really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
like
surprised by this?
I'm surprised it's that high, but I get that it's...
I'm trying to remember if this was on your list or not.
No, and it won't be. I like Queen Domino better, though. And the expansion that came out actually does work with both.
Right.
The Age of Giants. So I just keep that in the Queen Domino box now.
And I don't think it's on your top 100, the King Domino, or it hasn't been so far.
Nope.
Okay. I'm trying to ask these questions without, like, I'm not trying to feel you guys out.
What would you want to ask me? Anything. Go ahead. Any number you want.
What do you really
Pick a
think of
number.
me? Oh.
I think you're a gorgeous man.
Well, that's...
No? Too soon? I'll
Let's
wait
move
till
on.
the top 10 for that. Wow.
Ugh. Awkward.
All right, my number 57 was 37 last year. It was 8 the year before
It's
that.
garbage now.
And next year won't even be in my top 100.
Ooh.
That's because we're recording these. It's because of how we recorded these and when I put the top 100 together, but I already know it's dropped down my top 100. That's odd.
Time stories.
You're right. Time stories.
Wow.
Now, a couple caveats, right? Because by the time you've done this, I've already said the same thing in our review of Brotherhood of the Coast. I think I'm done with Time Stories at this point. I've seen what I've seen with it. I like it. And Seventh Continent has wiped the floor with it for me to some degree. I still like it. It's still good. It's still in here. I still enjoy it. And I can't discount my past experiences. They've been lots of fun.
Yes.
But it really reminds me of, like, I married Time Stories, right? And we had a great time, but then as I keep spending time with her, I see more and more flaws in her. Is this a bad analogy?
Horrible.
This is getting awkward.
Horrible.
This.
analogy.
You said me doing that what I did, which was not okay, and I apologize. But you saying that was awkward. This is awkward. He married Time Stories.
Very bad.
He took her out on a few dates.
Not a good. Not
Anyway.
And then he figured out, he started to see flaws in her.
Sure. Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. No, you see the
What
flaws
happened after
in the
that? I
game.
want to hear the rest of the story.
They're probably more angry at you than we are.
What happened after?
Angry at me for what?
You don't
For
treat Time
using a
Stories like that.
horrible analogy.
Anyhow, the thing is, I really like Time Stories, but the more I play it, the more I see the flaws in the system. Period. That's what it is.
That's all you had to say.
Anyway, now, there has been information released on the internet that a second edition of Time Stories is coming out
What?
that will be using mostly just cards and more focus on the app itself.
What? App? What app, though? It's not an app. A new app?
Yeah, you're right. I guess there isn't an app right now. So if it's, this sounds like they would be, this
Assisted Time Stories.
So I
feels
can
like they're
basically throw my
swerving real
copy
hard
out,
into
is what you're
unlock.
saying.
Huh?
I can throw my copy out.
You throw your copy out. Well, it's not like Z always would say, hey, don't tell me any of the other stuff at Time Stories. I'm going to go back and play through these scenarios. He never has, except the first one.
I have played 2 again.
Out of the 8?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow.
I might play 1 or 2 more before I finally jettison this thing, but
Interestingly enough, okay, so we put our list together before we played the last scenario.
Yeah.
But Z, when he talked about Time Stories, was before we played it. I'm talking after.
yeah, that's right. Mine is not, I don't have it on my list, my top 100, but when I played that game the very first time I played, we sat down, played the scenario that comes in the box. I rated the game a 10. I mean, no question.
I agree.
I was like, this is unbelievable. This is a 10. And now,
But I still can't discount.
Pecunian non Olay is what I think.
I still remember some of those really good times we had together. Me and Time Stories. You know, those.
Stop, you weirdo.
No,
Go
but
ahead.
I'm telling you, that's the right analogy.
It was 12 last year.
What?
It was 12 last year.
Wait till you get to
No, I'm
mine.
talking about Time Stories. And
Oh.
it was 72 this year for me. So it did fall, but again, like I said earlier, it was because of the episodic nature of it. I don't think that's really the only reason. I still enjoy Time Stories.
Well, I do too, right? But I feel like there's flaws in it. That's why it's dropped for me. It can't be a top 10 game with that many flaws.
Okay. Let's see. My number 57 was 36 last year, so it has fallen. That's mainly just due to lack of playing time, probably, because I still really enjoy the game. It's Inish. I like a lot of the different things about this game. I like the artwork that they employed, even though some people don't like it. I like the drafting, the card drafting aspect of it. I like the fact that you have to tell people, and I think this is something you don't like about it. You have to say, "I'm going to win.
Check.
Stop me." You
Check.
know, it's that whole idea of check or checkmate.
Checkmate, yeah.
So, and I like that about the game because you have to try to. You can't just achieve the objectives. You have to achieve the objectives while at the same time making sure that you're defended from people taking those objectives away from you.
Right.
And that's what I really enjoy the game, that tension that's there. So I really enjoy the game. I think it looks amazing on the board. It has great pieces. It has a great presence on the table. So that's my number 57, Inish.
This is definitely a game that is growing. People are starting. I hear more and more about it as time goes by.
Really?
But I definitely think that Inish is a game that is hard to pick up. Like I think there's a learning curve to it. If you know the cards in Inish, you are going to whoop up on someone who doesn't know those cards. It's kind of like Twilight Struggle, the games like that, where if you know the game, you're going to beat someone who doesn't very easily. It's not a hard game to get into.
It's not a shallow experience. You got to invest time in it. Yeah. All right, my 57 was 7 last time, so it's a big drop, and it's 7 Wonders. A lot of 7s in that. Man. I just realized.
Is this because of other games?
You did that on purpose.
No, when I organize these, I don't know where it ends up. They're not numbered.
I'm not joking.
I would have made it 77 if I was going for that. Is it because of other games? It's because I'm not playing it, and because of other games. Yeah, there's other drafting games.
There's a lot of drafting games now.
Playing other drafting games. 7 Wonders is still, I mean, top 100. It's an incredible design, but
yeah, that's what we need to remind you guys. If it's in the top 100, we still think they're amazing games.
Yeah.
Consistently.
So it hasn't made it to the table. I've got all the stuff for it, and I'm not playing with any of it. It's maybe the new Armada expansion will kind of spark that light again, but as of right now, it took a big dip.
Did you play the Armada expansion?
Yes, I think I played a prototype.
Yeah. But it didn't like blow your socks off?
I remember really liking it. I gotta wait till it's done, you know. I remember really liking it though, yeah. Anyway, that's 7 Wonders, my number 57.
All right. People's Choice, number 57, has been on the list for a really long time, as high as 11, and that's Cosmic Encounter. There you go. Crossover with Sam so far.
I said it.
Oh, and you?
It was my 61 last top 10.
All righty. Well, there you go. 3-way crossover.
Huge dip for him.
For whom?
For you.
No, this is the People's Choice.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that would be a pretty big jump
that
for
would
me.
be weird. That would be weird.
57. Yeah, but I mean, Cosmic Encounter, it's interesting. Consistently, I see comments on the internet of people saying, I don't get the game. I don't get why people like it so much, and I understand that, right? I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but enough people do like it, and I think it has to get props for being around for 42 years.
Yeah.
How many games are that? Go?
Go's been around for at least 42 years.
Maybe 45 years, I think, for Go. Chess is, 36 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Monopoly.
Getting picked up by...
Monopoly's, I think, came out in 2006.
You guys hear there's a new version of chess coming out from Simon. They're really going all out with the
That
minis.
would be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
If they use different models from all of the different games.
Kickstarter version of chess.
Yeah. You know it would be cool.
That would be cool.
I want to know what the stretch goal is. You don't get the king piece until we reach a certain goal.
Unlock the queen.
All right. My number 56 was 55 last year.
You are incredible.
That's just hovering around the same thing. One of my most blinged out games I own came out with an expansion which was good, but nothing to write home about, and that's Marco Polo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I really like Marco Polo. I like dice placement games in general. I like worker
Said
placement
blinged out
games.
game. Marco Polo did not come to mind.
Yeah, really. What did you do?
Oh, all the components I buffed up, all the different pieces. The only thing I haven't,
Fancy, like little wood and sheep pieces and
yeah, actually,
whatever, stone or whatever.
Well, good guesses, but quite. The only thing I haven't upgraded.
What's in it? Go ahead, Tom. What's in it?
No, you don't want to know. Don't
Tell
ask.
me. Now I want to know.
No, you don't.
I bet it's going to be stupid stuff, too. He's making fun of me. What is it? Go ahead, tell
No,
me.
too late now. So the only thing I haven't upgraded are the
Look it up.
camels.
Camels? Ooh, that is exotic.
I'm thinking about getting a used copy of Through the Desert somewhere and sticking those camels in this to replace the camels in it.
That's messed up.
I know it is.
Through the Desert is clearly a better game than Marco Polo. Why don't you take Marco Polo, take those camels, and throw them away with the rest of the game and just get Through the Desert?
So Marco Polo is a fantastic game. Like I said, the expansion came out, was good, but it's not like a must-play expansion, and these designers are rapidly becoming one of my favorites. A very enjoyable game, despite Z's incredible rudeness. My number 56, Marco Polo.
I've never played it.
What the? You've not played it?
No. I'll play it at some point. Maybe.
Ay, ay, ay.
Is it fantastic? I mean, do you love it?
I do.
Would it make your
It's
top
56.
100? I mean,
Sam, go.
My number 56 is new to the list this year.
that's what I'm talking
and
about.
it is Roar, King of the Pride. This is a very cool mid-weight family game. And the only reason I say it's midweight is because it can get kind of cutthroaty as far as
That's what family means to me.
where you
Cutthroat.
how you interact with other prides and how weak you can make them steal some of their lionesses and that type of thing. So, but it's a really cool area control game is really what it boils down to. But there's a couple of other mechanisms in there. You can grow your pride with a my just brain farted.
Having kids.
Yes, thank you. That's not the word I was trying
Reproduction.
to think, but reproduction, there you go. And it looks great on the board. It has
Sorry.
has great artwork. Again, Vincent Dutrait.
Oh, I see what's going on.
No. I'm just
Top
saying.
100
That's
of
just the
Vincent
way it
Dutrait
is.
games.
If a game looks amazing,
It's
I'm
Vincent Dutrait.
more drawn to it. I'm more drawn to it.
That's what I thought he was going to say, actually.
I want to have something. I want to have something that keeps me involved in the
Hey,
game.
man, you're preaching to the choir.
So,
For me, these
that's-
games aren't good. They're pretty.
My number 56, this one is good and pretty, Roar, King of the Pride.
I'll do my top 100 pretty games at some
That
point.
would be amazing. All right, my 56 is new to the list. This is a small worker placement game called Demon Worker. And Demon Worker, you're sending out
This
demons.
isn't a joke. It's actually called Demon Worker.
Yeah, it's called Demon Worker. This is a small, I want to say, I think it's a Japanese design, but I'm not sure where it's from. It's an Asian design, I know that. And it is, you have workers, you have your own workers you are deploying to a few different areas. You are collecting a few tokens that all have sort of tongue-in-cheek themes because you are supposed to be like a power broker in hell deploying workers to gather human emotions or something like that. It's a weird theme. It's bizarre. But gameplay is pretty straightforward, actually. It's resource management. You're collecting sets. The really cool thing that I like is that in many games, especially like Uwe Rosenberg style games, you have your workers. They are not distinct. They are the same workers, but then more locations show up throughout the game. In this game, the locations don't change, the workers change. You'll draft a hand of workers at the beginning of the game, and you can pay for more workers, and those are unique. You start with 2 generic ones, but then throughout the game, you might have one that, to deploy, takes no payment. They normally have to be paid. Or one that when you deploy, besides whatever you get, you also get a victory point. Or wherever you go, you get whatever it produces twice.
Wherever you
Stuff like that.
go.
And I really like the idea of having my own unique workers that you don't have access to. I really enjoy this game. Starts off very quick and straightforward. By the 5th round, it gets really thinky, kind of mathy. It's for like a 30-minute, 40-minute game. It's got a fantastic curve. So Demon Worker, my 56, and it's new to the list.
The funny thing about that game is that sounds like something he would call a game. He'd be like, I don't want to play this Demon Worker game. So when you say that every time, I'm like, what's he actually talking about?
Yeah, baby, Demon Worker.
All right. 56 for the People's Choice is new, and this is really becoming a popular game despite Z's initial lukewarm impression of it, and that is Spirit Island.
Demon spirits.
Well, one of them is, I think. So Spirit Island, the theming of this game is unique, where these colonists are coming to the island and like killing the natives, but you are different spirits on the island, and you're like, no, we'll flood you and protect the island. But it's actually a very hard. It's one of the most involved cooperative games I know of. There's a lot going on. You have very asymmetrical powers in it. You definitely have to think the whole game through. But it is selling like mad cakes. People are really enjoying this one. I think they're on a fourth printing of it already or whatever. Yeah, wow. It's doing really well. And so it's been the buzz has been growing for it. So Spirit Island. It's not in my top 100, but I do enjoy it. And I think I liked it more than both of you guys did.
Yeah, you did. I still enjoy it, though.
It was real thinky and heady, and
you don't do no thinking in games.
It was a little too complex for me, but yeah, I'm glad it's doing well. That's fantastic.
My number 55 was 29 last year, so it dropped some, but I just don't play it as much as I used to, and that is Roll for the Galaxy. Which is interesting because when this game came out, I was like, this is amazing. I will never play Race. I do not like this better than Race. Race may show up later. Race will show up later. I mean, that's
what I'm talking
pretty obvious.
About. Give me some of that.
What? What was that? Anyhow, Roll for the Galaxy.
No fist bump for you.
The expansion was good. It helped and everything. It's kind of weird because I keep getting defending my choices. Well, that's why I don't like it as much anymore. Again, it's 55, right? I still think it's a fantastically good game. It's just not as fast as Race for the Galaxy, which is why it's a little bit lower. But Roll for the Galaxy is still fun. I like the idea of building a galaxy. I like rolling the dice. I'm still waiting for the board game version to come out because I think that's better than the board game might knock Roll off the list.
Oh,
actually.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Played that prototype of that? Okay.
Yeah, but I played it a long time ago. And I don't know when it's coming out. Could be ages. But Roll for the Galaxy still is a lot of fun. I like the little dice cups. I like the different dice you can get. That's a big advantage, I think, for me of the game. I like getting more dice. Any game that gives me my own little sets of dice that I get to roll, I have a good time with that. So Roll for the Galaxy.
I like Roll for the Galaxy much better than Race. I know that there's not... It's the iconography in Race that really makes it difficult for me, and I know that there's almost the same level of iconography in Roll, but it just has a different feel to it because it has the dice connected with it, and you can use the dice for the different icons. I don't know. I like Roll much better. It's not on my list though, but that gives you how much.
It's better than the poop game.
No, not really.
It's not because it didn't make the list.
That's right. Not for me, at least. My number 55 is a game that just got a recent expansion, and that was called Broken Covenant. And this is Spectre Ops.
I never played that game.
This was 48 last year, so it has slipped a little bit. That is not because of the expansion; it's just lack of play time, really.
That's
but I mean, it's
in a top 100. That's negligible.
Negligible is correct.
It's hardly any movement at all, really. But
if you could only buy one, which would you buy?
One game out of his top 100 is number one.
Spectre Ops or I don't remember
Covenant.
what. Or Broken Covenant.
Thanks for taking this down a route we're not talking about. Quiet.
I'll tell you what mine is.
I don't know, and I've actually talked to Emerson about this. How I think that some of the how some of the hunters in Broken Covenant are too powerful.
Disagree.
They've got the one guy who can see through walls and shoot through walls. Horrible. Don't like him at all. But what's even worse, though, is that if you have him along with the guy that has the dog, and I don't remember their names,
You're a terrible squad leader.
There's no reason why the agent should ever win.
So once again, you're saying you would get the first edition.
Probably. But I don't say that because I think that the second one is worse. I just don't like how powerful some of the hunters are.
I like them about the same, so it doesn't matter to me. I was just curious. All right,
And
sorry.
I don't want to say that they're imbalanced, but again, if you have some people who are really savvy as being hunters against somebody who's really savvy at being an agent, I don't think that the agent has a chance. Maybe they do. I have won as the agent before, but I don't think it was because I was that much better than anybody else at the table. I just got
Because they
lucky.
were that bad. Oh.
No, I just got lucky. I'll be honest with you.
One or the other, right? Either you're saying I'm so much better, or they're really not that bright.
No, I got lucky.
I apologize
That's all
to
it
those
was.
of you who are
My
watching who
number
were in that
55, Spectre Ops.
I agree. 55 for me, I assume will show up later on Sam's list. I don't think you've said it yet.
Twilight.
Was 48 last time. This is Raptor. Raptor 55 is a two-player simultaneous card selection game
Yeah.
in which you are either playing the Raptors, trying to gather, like a mama raptor trying to gather up your babies. I had trouble with that.
Definitely not a mammal raptor,
You're not a mammal raptor. You're a mama.
unless they've been doing something else on the island.
No, that's weird. That's talk to Tom about dating time stories about that.
Oh, sure. Don't you drag me down in your error.
And then the other side is scientists trying to study the raptors. I don't know what they're doing. Tagging them and
They're trying to start
They
up
taste like
Jurassic
chicken.
Park, baby.
They taste
Jurassic
like chicken. They're hunting.
tastes like chicken. That's so messed up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
babies.
I'm sorry making fun of an animal that doesn't currently exist.
That's not okay. Raptors have feelings too. We assume.
Did you say a baby raptor? So you're saying if a baby raptor came in here and you had a gun, you wouldn't shoot it?
No. That would probably be too scared.
I would. I'd
Jump
be
out
shooting
that
in
window.
self-defense.
Anyway, this is a really nice asymmetric kind of game. It's got a lot going on in it. I really enjoyed it. It's puzzly, but it's also very thematic, actually, considering how abstracted it does sort of seem and play out. You can get into this theme. If you invest yourself in it, even a little bit, you'll get quite a bit out of the theme. I really enjoy it. Fantastic two-player game. Raptor, my 55.
And the People's Choice 55 is another new one to the list. That is Role Player. This
Nice.
game is really...
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised because I think already on the list we have seen... Never mind. Okay, so it's not higher than
Something else that you saw.
Sagrada. You know, Sagrada's up higher on the list. Well, it is what it is. I
More
thought...
palatable theme.
Huh?
It's a more palatable theme.
Sure, right, and that's what I tell people. Like, some people are like, oh, should I get Role Player? I'm like, well, do you like the idea of rolling up a character sheet? And if you don't, yeah, you can still play the game, but you're losing that whole theming part of it.
I agree.
Now, with the expansion, Role Player gets even better. It's just a fantastic. I really like it. Like, to me, that's not even close. I would play Role Player on its worst incarnation over the best of Sagrada. But either way, this is definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more games try to do this sort of thing because of how popular both these games are.
Yeah.
So Role Player, number 55. My number 54 was 92 last year, so it's moving on up. And this is the game that has completely replaced Istanbul for me, and that is Yokohama. It has a lot of the similar aspects to it, where you are moving. I call it worker movement, where instead of placing a worker, you have... I know, your mind went back to the poop cave.
No. It's just like, I love how you were like, I call it worker movement. It's like, okay, I'm pretty sure most people probably call it that. You take workers and move them.
Fine. I'm not saying I came up with the title. I apologize.
be quiet.
That came,
My number 68.
68?
Shut up.
So Yokohama, though, you have this worker and you're moving him around and he's buying and selling and completing missions, and there's technology in the game where you can do better things. The game board is going to be different each time you play it, where everything is, just like Istanbul. That's why there's some comparisons there.
This game just looked, well, not attractive for one thing, but it also looks really complicated.
Did you not see my version of it? I got the deluxified version. It is
Here we
attractive.
go again. This cat.
Yep.
No! There's nothing wrong with being proud of a deluxified game.
I did not see your deluxeified version of this. I
he
saw the
also
one that
got
was online that I saw photos of, and I was like,
Also got the Meeple Realty box insert, which is like completely blinged up.
Yeah, well, I didn't mention that. Okay,
He's got a really
you're
nice
proud.
looking copy.
You're
of
proud.
but I do like
This
how
is
the game looks.
that you
But I
left
think
time stories for.
it. Jeez, why are we continuing? Bad analogy should be left alone.
we had a
I'm
fling.
sorry, I keep
not
I keep going with them.
necromancy.
Yokohama, it's a really fun game.
Yes,
it's a heavier, not a heavy Euro game, but it's definitely heavier on the heavier side. And that would be probably why I think you might not like it as much as Istanbul, but I'm not convinced you would dislike it either. So Yokohama, my number 54.
All right. You've got me intrigued.
No, he doesn't.
Not really, no, I don't care.
Number 54.
Disrespect.
Number 54 for me is new to the list. I was able to play I have not played a production copy of this game yet, but I've played a prototype version 3 times.
I feel like you got in my case when I...
And no, this is out. This is production copies have been shipped and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually out there. Fireball Island: Curse of Volcar.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
No,
This game's in your top 100?
absolutely.
What's
I
wrong with
expected
that?
this from him. You too?
Yes, it's a fun game. I'm sorry you lost the one game that you played.
Wow, it's amazing.
this game is really
I have
entertaining.
lost, I think, 2 of the games that I've played, and it's fun.
I don't care about losing. Who
I've
cares
lost
about
every
that?
game I
But-
played.
Oh,
No,
wow. I know he was, I know he's
No,
going to
this is
mention
this
it.
is not.
Actually, it's not in my top 100, but I do
This
like
is
it a lot.
not a.
So he likes it more than you.
If you are
apparently.
looking for strategic games, if you're looking for tactical games, this is not your Huckleberry. This is not a game where you look it up, uncultured swine.
Book?
This is not a game if you want a deep brain burning experience. No, this is not that at all. This is simply this is a cool, fun dexterity game is how I look at it, because you're going to be flicking fireballs and rolling them down hills, and you're trying to knock these other people off, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You're playing cards to do certain things, has a little bit of a take that feel to it, because you're really trying to simply knock people off of the island.
A
make them start
flicking
over.
game, you're right. I'm
And
putting that in the category.
It is fun. I mean, and the new version that Restoration Games has come out with is the only version I've ever played of this game. I didn't play it back when it was originally out. So there's no nostalgia here. This is just a fun game to play. And it's got that huge toy factor that I like in games. So yeah, mock me all you want, loser. 54, Fireball Island.
I would never mock you
Curse
about liking
of Volcar. Yes, you would.
I think that's a good choice.
Yes. All right, my number, I should have been quiet. And my 54 is about to light me up. I always forget what this game is like. What is that game, classic game, where you roll the 2 dice and move around the board, and you hit the other piece and send them back?
Sorry.
No. It's like the elongated board with a doubling cube. What is that game called? I always forget.
Oh, that's... you mean with the...
Yeah,
the...
the little triangles all along, up and down the sides.
Riveting airtime right
That is...
Hey, these need to be longer. You be quiet.
I'm drawing it right here. It's I can't remember what the board game's called, but yes, you're right. There's gonna be like 20 comments about it, so don't worry
Yeah,
about
I know.
it. We got
Okay,
it.
anyway, this is like that. Tatsu is this game. And this is a 2-player game like backgammon. That's what it is, backgammon. That's what I'm
Backgammon. Yes.
thinking. That's not what you were thinking of?
No, it is one thing I'm trying to think of.
Tatsu
if my mom ever made me tot soup to eat.
I don't know what tot soup is, but this is called Tatsu.
I hope it has tater tots in it.
Tater tot soup. It is a 2-player game. You roll dice, you move your pieces. If you hit the other pieces, depending on the dragon that you did so with, you might capture them or send them back. You've got 3 different kinds of dragons. You are trying to eliminate your opponent's presence on the board or capture all of their dragons of one kind. That's it. It's a really light game. It feels like backgammon, but I really like this one. It's a great game for killing a few minutes. I mean, it's not that short necessarily. It's like 25 minutes or something, but this is one when I first saw it, read about it. This is from the same people who did Hive. When I heard about this game, I was like, oh man, what is this? Talk about a step backwards for the guy who designed Hive, a really interesting, engaging, abstract game. You know what? It's just for a different crowd. And it is really fun. I hate the box. I hate the way that it's packaged, but the pieces are the same quality as Hive pieces, and it's a fun game. It's kind of like Fireball Island, but
Yeah, you
good.
better do some major backtracking here right now.
It's 54, Tatsu, not Soup. That's a new one.
All right, Race for the Gap.
No, what?
Race for the Galaxy is your number 54.
Oh,
Sorry.
really? We're just talking about this.
Yeah, that kind of came out fast. It was as high as number 9. It was 34 last year. Is it out of print?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to tell anymore with Rio Grande. But
One can only hope.
oh, boo! Race for the Galaxy is a great game.
Galaxy's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. It's fantastic.
Best game.
There's an app out for it, which I think might help it
No
get
flicking.
better too. The app came out. That might be part of the reason that it's still
the
around.
app, actually. Was it good?
Yeah, I really liked it. So, Race for the Galaxy, 54. My number 53 is brand new to the list. Played this earlier this year, and it just hits everything I like. Big miniatures, killing monsters, multiple things to do, dudes on a map, complete missions, Lords of Hellas. Just love this game. And it's hilarious because when I first got it, I took it to Sam and like, why did they take these miniatures and put them in such a weird way? They're all broken up. You have to build this statue. It looks weird. And then I found out in the game itself, you actually build the statue. So that's why. But I mean, the statues are like this big on the board. They're huge. And there's giant monsters that you're fighting. And it's kind of weird because it's like this techno-Greek mythology.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing as Greek mythology, except everyone's wearing like techno stuff.
Awesome.
Flamethrowers and
Love it.
But
jetpacks.
and
awesome.
to clarify, this is my rating of it with no Kickstarter extras, all that stuff hasn't even come out yet, but the hope of it looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I just like the fact that there are multiple ways to victory. You want to go out and kill monsters, you can. You want to just do area control and control the board, you can. To build the big statues and control a bunch of temples. To go out and complete missions. It's just, there's a lot of cool things about the game. And I really enjoy it a lot.
Cool.
Lords of Hellas. I'm guessing it's on Sam's list at some point.
It might be on my list.
I don't think you even played the game.
No, but it might still be on my list.
That's reasonable.
Thank you. Jeez.
The amount of thought you put into your list makes sense.
Man.
53, Lords of
number
Hellas.
gonna lay upon
My 50. We need to figure out what that means.
I know.
You just said upon you, so.
Hey, man, I'm sure someone will tell me on mine.
Yeah, they will. All right, my number 53 was number 19 last year, much like yours slid from number 7 to number 57. 19 to 53 is Seven Wonders.
Wow. It's about the same jump, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it
telling
is.
you.
I mean, we're in the same.
This game just sucks now.
in the same bracket. No, it's not that.
It's not even in my top 150,
Some
actually.
of the I have not been
yeah.
using it as much as I used to in gateway experiences. I used to play it with my students frequently on down days or what have you in a certain class or what have you, the seniors or what have you, and when. Well, no.
You said what have you like 3 times in a row
No,
there.
the seniors have a lot of down days, apparently. So anyway, that's wow. Anyway,
It's funny. We laugh because you said some 3 times in a row, and it was just a conversational thing, but it was funny.
It's just the way it is. Seven Wonders, though, is still a great game in my opinion. It's not, it wasn't innovative. Got to bring that back. But
Dude, that's
can't
a
let that
conversation
die.
we had
go.
off the internet. You don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
I will not let that go because it was not innovative, and yet it won an innovative award. I just that's not good. That's not okay. So anyway, it is a great game though. It has wonderful artwork, iconography that is pretty heavy, but not as heavy as some people would want to say. That is definitely not as heavy as something like Race for the Galaxy. But it's still a little bit on the weighty side as far as iconography is concerned. But it works great. I love it. And it is a fun game to play. I just haven't played it as often as I would have probably wanted to for it to stay higher on my list. So it's number 53, Seven Wonders.
Seven Wonders. What am I? Okay, 53 for me is also new to the list, though this game is not new. It's a game called Origin. I don't know why I put this game on my list now. I played it. That's probably it. I mean,
I don't know what this game is. It's like Origin.
This is the one that it's a map of the world. It's the dawn of civilization. You have in the box a bunch of wooden characters. They look like totem.
And it starts in
Africa.
Yeah.
You put a little character, and then from there you spread, you complete goals, you occupy the map.
Oh, you're right. I definitely have played this.
Yeah,
it has really cool wooden pieces.
played
It's
with
from
you,
what's
yeah.
that company?
I think this is from Matago, I think.
You're right. It is Matago. It's one of their.
Yeah,
This is in your top 100?
This is in my top 100. You know how I know? Because I just said it. I really like this.
Also, I'd like to point out what a rhetorical question is, but yes, continue.
Yes. It's.
We're getting snarkier as these lists go on.
I really like this game. Yeah, it's. I got to play it again not too long ago, and I was like, man, I forgot what a fantastic family weight game this is, and different. It really does feel different.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Everything in it really just works. The expansion idea of you taking over territories, and then all the ways you score by having a certain number in different continents, by occupying the two spaces around a bridge. There are special powers you'll gather throughout the game, so you actually the build in the game, like by the end of the game, and the game's only like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but by the end of the game you're going to be doing radically different things than by the beginning, and you'll have a bunch of different powers available to you. It's just a good, solid, family weight Euro game. Really enjoy this, yeah. A looker too, for sure. It's a really good looking game. So Origin, yeah, definitely one that doesn't get talked about a lot anywhere. I mean, this game probably...
I forgot about it, that it existed until you mentioned it.
I assume it's out of print, actually.
Probably.
Which is unfortunate. Hey, if you can get your hands on it, give it a shot. 53, Origin.
All right, People's Choice 53 has been on and off the list. It was actually 85 last year. It fell off the list a few years before that, but it started at like 18. It was pretty high up. And that's because I'm sure being in print and out of print. From Lookout Games, Le Havre. So it went up from 85 last year. Again, I think it's more widely available. And it's one of those games that when people say, ooh, what's the newest Rosenberg game? They'll play it, and then they'll go, what else has he done? And traditionally, Le Havre has been one of the higher ups in that category.
Isn't there an expansion coming out to this?
Not to Le Havre that I know of. I think there's expansions coming out for Caverna, Feast for Odin, and then the two-player one.
All creatures big and dumb.
No, you hate that name. Anyway, Le Havre, People's Choice 53. 52 has been on my list for 3 years. Last year was 59, so it's about the same position, moving around, and it's the biggest and best production of any game on the list, probably.
Whoa. Mechs versus Minions.
Yes.
Your face, Sam.
No, it was a great...
That's what I thought of as well. I just don't agree with that assessment.
Nice.
That's the biggest and best production?
In your face,
of any
all
game
of
on the list?
sudden.
Come on.
I'm trying to think of a game that has a nicer production
Lords
than that
of Hellas, you just said it. Tatsu, certainly.
If you're including the insert, yeah, I guess. But
I'm including everything,
man. As far as
man.
the game components, nah.
Yeah, I think it's... Anyway, I really like this game. It's a great...
It's the same models.
It's a great...
All over them.
That's true.
Cooperative game. It's essentially 10 cooperative games or so in the box because it's like a campaign, but each one could be played over and over.
Sure.
I don't sit there and go, oh, we got to go do this mission again. No, it's just another mission for the game. And in fact, some of the missions have a similar feel to Project Elite in that sense where there's just these swarms of minions. I tend to like that, right?
Yeah.
Swarms and you're fighting them all off. Just a lot of fun for me. So
It's got programming in it, though. It's a little Robo Rally-esque.
it does have programming in, and it's interesting because you keep doing the same program over and over again. So you got to figure out how to fix it so it does the right thing you want. So
yeah, this game has a little, probably the thing that keeps it off my list because I like co-ops. I like the way this game looks, certainly. it can lead to a little frustration. It's that game that you might get frustrated. I certainly maybe
Sure, I get that.
One out of 4 times I play this game, I'm frustrated.
I get that. I guess it's a cooperative game, so I don't mind it. Where the frustration comes with the territory sometimes.
Sure,
there.
okay. I could see that.
Anyway, Mechs vs. Minions.
Cool.
Didn't make your list at all.
No.
52.
Nope.
Better than poop. I
Much
can
ado
tell you
about
that.
nothing.
What?
What did you say?
Doesn't much ado about nothing, but that was an overstatement. I think the only reason that game got any buzz whatsoever, it's a good game. I think it's great, but I think the reason it got so much buzz was because it was so cheap, and the only reason it was so cheap is because the company could afford to just throw money at it.
I agree on that. I mean, that's definitely.
I don't think that game, if it had been, I don't know,
150.
if it had been Kickstarted, it would have been $150, and I don't think it would have gotten nearly the buzz that it did.
I don't know.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I don't have any. I never played League of Legends. I don't care about that video. I didn't even know that. I didn't know who Riot was.
Yeah, I don't know.
And before that game came out, so I still like the game despite all that.
No, I get that. I get that. I'm just, I'm not questioning your liking of it. I'm just disagreeing.
I don't know if
with
it made the people's choice. Did it? I don't think I remember talking about it at all. All right, well, what's your number 50?
My number 52 was 54 last year, and
pretty
I would
close.
like to say that it has risen 2 spots in anticipation of a version that's going to come out here, hopefully very, very soon. But I can't really say that because that's not what happened. It's hovering, but it's still on the list in anticipation of a version called Heroes of Blackreach that is hopefully coming out very soon. Heroes of Normandy.
Things
however.
aren't looking so good.
Heroes of Normandy is what is holding the 52 spot right now. I have played a drop zone of Heroes of Blackreach, but that's not enough for me to have it hold this spot on my list. So Heroes of Normandy, with all of the stuff that's available for it right now.
You still like this whole series.
Yes, the system is really what's holding the spot, not the version. But the version of Blackreach will probably replace Heroes of Normandy when it comes out.
Oh man, that's heartbreaking, dude.
It is. It's very heartbreaking. I was going to Gen Con thinking that I was going to have a copy of this.
Actually, you went to like a few conventions looking for it.
Yeah, but I was really hoping I was going to come back from Gen Con with a copy of it, and it just didn't happen. That still
We
has
were
left
hoping
a little
that
bit of hole
would
in
have saved
my
a lot of
hops
weeping on the way
of
back.
old games. So that's my number 52, Heroes of Normandy, which when Blackreach comes out, it'll replace
It will
this
go to
one,
number
but-
1.
But Heroes of Normandy is my number 52.
All right, my number 52 is a tile-laying game called Micropolis. This is new to the list as well.
It's fun.
That one pretty high, pretty
I really
fast.
like it. I like tile laying anyway. This is funky tiles. You make them, it's like pie shapes. You make it into a big pie. And Colony, Bruno Catala game. Pretty light stuff. It's his family weight or even maybe slightly lower than that. He thrives in that space when it comes to being a designer. So, and most of the games in that weight, category will have a little something that's original in it, or a little spice, and that I like that kind of game. This one, the main thing is, of course, building the little colonies in order to score victory points, collect fruits, have your queen score for her colony, but also since the tiles are played. Once you've got one, then you can play next to it on this side or on the other. Eventually, you'll fill in the whole circle, and everything sort of connects up. It looks cool on the table, too. Yeah, I really like this one. It's a good, easy game to get into while not being brain dead. There's a few things you got to manage. So, Micropolis, 52. Really enjoy it.
Wow, that's higher than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good, but it just feels like a filler to me, like something I play. I had a good time doing it. I like the ant theme a lot.
Bunch of fillers on my list if I was going to go by that.
No, I know, but I mean, for me, for a filler to make the list, it has to be like, what a filler,
Well, I think that if we're going to put that in a filtered category, I don't know that it really fits there. It's a little bit long for a filler, don't you think?
Yeah,
Nah, it's
like
pretty
30,
quick.
40 minutes, I don't know.
Yeah, that's pushing the hour mark, which is completely takes it out of a filler category. But if we're going to call it a filler category, that would definitely be one of my go-tos. That's a good one.
Got it.
How long would a filler be for you?
30 minutes tops.
I agree. I think that game's a 30-minute game.
Probably.
Okay. People's Choice picked a filler for 52. It was 71 last year, and it's not filler. This one is another Rosenberg game, and that's Feast for Odin. They're right next to each other. Feast for Odin and Le Havre. Filler, yeah, no. Well, Feast for filled. This game is when Rosenberg does his games, like Agricola was a huge hit.
Yes.
And then Le Havre was a big hit right after that. And then Gates of Liang was not a hit, and then the one with all the time. I mean, then he started having ones that were just not as big of a hit as the rest. Period.
They were the same game, yes. Uh-huh.
No, they weren't. But like even like Newsford and there's games that are just not as big of a hit. I think Feast for Odin is the next of the ones that has staying power. It's still sold in stores now. It's been several years since it's come out. It's really doing well. And they just announced a couple expansions, and people are excited about that.
Yes.
So Feast for Odin went from 71 to 52 for People's Choice.
This game.
I don't know if you would like it.
It's a Viking game, though. I should play it.
That's true. You should just for like completionist purposes.
You got to try it, man. Tell me what you thought after you do.
You should play it with us.
I'm good. Thanks.
All right, the last one for today is a crossover with Z. It was 47 last time. I think this was in your like top like 80s, or I don't remember what it was.
The garbage section, I call that.
Yeah. Automania.
Garbage.
You really like Automania.
I really like Automania. It's fantastico.
Yeah, Automania just, I don't know what it is. It's a worker placement game, but I think it's just the speed of the game. It feels like I'm getting a lot of bang for my buck in that game. I'm doing something interesting. There's so many of these games where you're like, I'll do this and 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 this, and look what I just got. But in Automania, you're like, give me some points right now. And I like that. And it's fast. It has a cool theme. You know, I don't know how often I play it without 4 players. I played it a couple times with 3, I think. But it's such a good 4-player game.
Sure.
With 4 people. So
it seems like, to me, it always, when I play it, I almost hear like movie montage music in my head, because that's how quickly it moves along. You know, in many games where you're building something, you're like, and then eventually you're like, I made a cup, you know. In this game, you're like, a car, bam, put it on a ship. It sells in the market, you know. That's what I like about it.
I agree.
Like, it moves like a montage. It's so quick. I love that.
all right.
All right, my number 51 is new to the list. It is supposed to be, or was originally built as, the spiritual successor to Blood Rage. And that is Rising Sun.
So you like this better than Blood Rage?
That's what I heard.
No.
Definitely better than Blood Rage.
No, I was just thinking about how this is number 51, and something else is going to be higher than that.
Smooth criminal.
But Rising Sun is a great game. Production value off the charts. I would say that this production value dwarfs and embarrasses Mechs and Millions, frankly. But that is...
I don't think it embarrasses it. Come on now. That's
completely embarrasses. Completely embarrasses.
Show me
Mechs
the
and Millions.
insert.
Okay, now see, that's the thing. That's not part of the game. That's
part of the
storage
production.
solution.
That's part of the production.
You're buying it. Yeah, that's part of the game.
Okay. Rising Sun, though, is great. The only thing I really don't like about this game is the combat style that's in it, where you are betting different things on... bidding, rather, not betting, on different parts of the thing. And I don't know. I just don't... I like it in one aspect where you're trying to outthink your opponent in the battle, and I get that connection, but it's just lackluster to me. I'd rather have almost anything else, almost. This is also a very similar mechanism as what I didn't like in Cry Havoc. So it's not that I just don't like it in this game, it's just I don't like that mechanism of betting or bidding on what kind of outcome you're going to have.
Yep.
And so that's the only thing that I really don't like about it. Everything else is amazing. So I really do enjoy Rising Sun, with the one caveat of the combat system. But my number 51, Rising Sun.
That's the one reason that like I said when I mentioned it, that Blood Rage is higher.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that fighting system in Blood Rage better.
All right.
And it's not really that much better of a system, I guess, because you're literally just playing cards down.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Cosmic Encounter system. I mean, you play a card, and you've already got some forces, and you add forces simultaneously. But I just feel way less... When I make a mistake in Blood Rage in combat and I misjudge the situation, I feel way less betrayed. I don't know what it is. By the system, the system. I'm like, oh, you played a better card. All right, you win. In the other game, I reveal my shield and like the money is, I'm clearly made mistakes. I'm like, now I got to suffer through like 4 embarrassing fights. Anyway, my 51 was 55 last time, just about the same. This is Libertalia. One of my favorite pirate games.
This was on your list already,
Libertalia
right?
is... I don't think so. Libertalia is basically Citadel's cubed. Citadel's already has a bunch of different characters with powers. I love that. I mentioned that, I think, a few top 10s ago. And when I heard about Libertalia being like 30 characters, all of them with different powers, it's like, oh my goodness, yes. And I have my own deck of characters, all with a bunch of different powers? Yes. And that's really the heart of the game. The rest of the game is extremely easy. All you're doing is pick a card, reveal it, compare the numbers and the powers on, they trigger powers, and then you just grab a token. You're collecting little groups of tokens. That's it. There is nothing else going on. But you know what? The artwork on the characters and the fact that there's that many different cool powers puts it on the list for me. I love it. I love all the different flavors that they were able to add with that cast, that bizarre cast of characters. Really enjoy it. So Libertalia, this is from Paolo Mori, right? Did that.
Yes.
And he's been on the up and up for
That's the game that swung me around on him as a designer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting the game to be, because I'd come off it from Vasco da Gama.
Yeah, Vasco,
and then now, though, I look at his games like, ooh, what's next?
Yeah, I agree.
And he also is making the newest Pandemic, which has the salivating.
Yeah, he worked on, he co-designed the new Pandemic Fall of Rome. Yeah.
All right, so we start with poop, and we end with this. 51 for People's Choice, Castles of Mad King Ludwig. It was 59 last year, so still on the list. Suburbia, it is higher than Suburbia ranked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm surprised. I really thought Suburbia would be higher ranked.
I agree.
So I'm not sure why.
Which one do you like better? You like Suburbia better.
Suburbia by a mile. I mean, I like them both, but Suburbia... Castles, the biggest problem I have with Castles is that you start building this castle and the game ends.
Oh, okay.
Like with Suburbia, I feel like I built my own little city. We built this city,
Wrong. You thought it too, baby.
I knew it as soon as I said that. Sorry. But I built this city... Sorry.
This city.
Anyway, but instead with Castles of Mad King Ludwig, you can... We can't just sing one line of a song.
There you go.
But with Castles of Mad King Ludwig...
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You don't always build like the whole castle. Sometimes you build just parts.
You feel like you're not getting a complete, like when the game starts to get good, you're done?
That kind of thing.
And I just hated the bidding in it.
I know you hate the bidding. I like that actually. But anyway, obviously a lot of people like it. I'm curious.
I am curious.
As the years go by, where they'll settle out, right?
That's crazy.
I think Castles looks better.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, Suburbia just looks bland and almost anemic. But Castles has a pop to it. With the different...
The fact that all the building pieces are shaped like, if there's a tower, it's a round room, and the corridors, it looks good.
All righty, well, that is up to 51
That's
here.
the best of the... No, the worst of the best.
It's the best of the worst, according to whatever you're saying.
The worst of the best. This is the worst half of the best 100.
But this is the best of the worst half.
Thanks so much for watching our top 100 list. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm the other... what is my name?
Confused.
I'm confused. Z Garcia.
And I'm Sam Healy. See you on the flip side, y'all.
Getting longer.
Let it go. Let it go for a few more minutes.
No! Turn off the camera!